Buongiorno, buonasera, benvenuti amici, welcome my friends. My name is Vincenzo and welcome to my channel. And the channel is Fountain Pen Therapy. Yes, indeed. It's Saturday morning, it's early. My wife's still resting. I'm up, it's 4:30 in the morning, folks. But I'm enjoying it tremendously. Got my cappuccino, I'm nice and quiet, I'm in my dungeon, as they say. But this is my studio. You got to understand, one of these days I think I'm going to show you all my setup. I got this huge basement, okay, and I've got basically four different stations, that I do all these videos on, and I just enjoy being here. It's just, to me, it is fountain pen therapy at its best. Now, some people have told me, I've got to tell you recently, some reviews indeed, that they look at my recap and they say, Vincent, you're crazy. I mean, those recaps have like 5 videos in them. You could easily be splitting them up and doubling your views. But folks, yes, views are important because I'm hoping that I'm not doing this for nothing. If I would have 23 viewers, I'd be freaking out right now just because all that work that's involved for just 23 people. Not because it wouldn't be worth it, but you understand what I'm saying. But I'm doing it for myself as well, and in the sense that I enjoy doing this. And if I would have to take this 1 hour and 15-minute recap and divide it into 6 or 5 or 4, whatever it is, yeah, I would still be doing it, but I enjoy giving it to you. The fun is to give it to you all, not in pieces. And look, I'm hoping the viewership it's increasing for the recap. I think people are starting to catch on, and it's going to get there. If you ask me, is all this work worth the viewership that you're getting today? I would say to you, probably not. Okay, in an objective YouTube analytic way, but for me, it's worth every cent. Cheers, folks. Thank you very much for joining me. I've got another exciting show for you today. Lots of stuff. It doesn't stop, folks. It just doesn't stop. So here it is. Without any further ado, here is Fountain Pen Therapy's weekly recap for March the 16th, 2025. So we're up for the first segment. As usual, we're going to take a look at a little bit at the market, show you what's new out there, what I've been able to find. As you know, I scour the internet almost, I don't know how many times a day, just looking for new stuff for my own pleasure and for your information as well. And I always start with the Chinese pen market. Now, I know the Chinese pen market, or the Chinese market in general, is a little bit controversial. But I was congratulated by many of you to stay away from politics. I don't care about politics. I never did. Even though I have a joint honors bachelor's degree in political science and economics, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. I'm looking at the Chinese pen market for a couple of reasons. One, the pens are extremely affordable. And to boot, they are now quality, or a lot of them are quality products. Do they copy? Probably. Am I upset about that? It's not the best. I feel uncomfortable. But let me tell you, their pens work very well. I've just finished doing my Hongdian collection video. I hope you, and I think you all thoroughly enjoyed that, and I might do more of that. So I'm not staying away from the Chinese market at all. Those of you who want to tune out, you have timestamps, just skip it and we'll go to the next portion. But let's look at the Chinese market. Now, having said that, there's not much novelty there. I did manage to find a few things of interest, and some of which I've ordered. First of all, I'm going to put up on the screen, there's now this ADMOK 28, which is supposed to be a classic replica of the Gold Star 28. Gold Star 28, you may ask, what is it? I'm not sure, but I think I have one. Let me go to my overhead camera and I'll show you. Let me just set up here. Okay. This is what I think is the Gold Star 28. It looks like it's a hero. Now, is the hero an imitation of the Gold Star? But from what I gathered, this is it. It's kind of a vintage pen. And let me tell you, you see it's still got this old style filling system, kind of a little bit of a pump. This pen writes majestically. It's extremely light, but it posts very nicely. Very light pen. Okay, it looks on screen, trust me, much thicker than it really is. We're going to do some writing with this pen because I'm going to probably include it in this week's Currently Ink or next week's inked pens, so we can use that next week for you, and we'll do some writing samples later on when we get to that segment of the show. But this is it, and if you look at the thumbnail, or at least the picture I'm showing up on the screen, the ADMOK 28 appears to be a replica, except it's got kind of a button filler there. So I'm looking forward to taking a look at that. What else have I got for you? Well, I also got this other pen, and I'm not sure what it is. I've never heard of the company before. It's referred to as the Yangfeng 812. So you see it here on the screen. Various colors are available. Not only did I order that ADMOK 28, but I've also ordered, I think I've ordered the 812, this Yangfeng 812, or maybe it's in my cart and I haven't quite pushed a button yet. And I've ordered the blue. We'll take a look at that. We'll see. Talks about flex nibs. I'm not sure that's the case, but look, we shall see. The other stuff that I've ordered, I'm showing you a picture here of the Hongdian nib. Now, we've seen these nibs, and I've seen these nibs on my pens, and you saw several of them during my Hongdian collection video. But there's some reference to perhaps being a new soft nib. I know that Shanghai Dude did mention that Hongdian may have a new soft nib. Now, is this just the soft nib? You know, their second version of the nib. You recall there was an original version, the Hongdian nib with the ear on it, 19, whatever it was. And that was a kind of a stiff nib. And then it was replaced by a nib that looks a lot like the one I'm showing you now. Now, is this a third version? Is this maybe a new and improved soft nib? I wasn't sure. These nibs are now being sold for piston fillers or with a unit that accommodates a converter. So you, depending on, what pen you have and what you want to do with it, you can choose one. But I've ordered one with, I think I've ordered the one with the converter, and I'll let you know. We'll compare that nib to the nibs that are already in the pens to see if it's a third improved version of the soft nib or it's just that second version, if you will. What else have I got for you? Well, this ADMOK M800, we've seen the ADMOK M800. There's nothing new about the model, except you see this is a transparent model, and I'm being tempted to order just because I like to see the demonstrator, transparent acrylic. You can actually see the piston, and it all looks like brass in there. So if anybody's curious about how those ADMOK M800s work, well, now you've got a transparent version. And of course, for those of you who have yet to order it, well, I would be really tempted to order this version. Speaking about another version of an already existing model, here is the Asvine V126. Now, there's nothing novel about it. It's a vacuum filler, and most of us have already seen this pen, except take a look at the new acrylic they have. It's kind of a demo, with some blue. They also have a gold yellow version of this. So I may be tempted to order this V126 in that type of resin. We shall see. Actually, I'm not even sure whether I've ordered it or it's in my cart. It's one of the two. Okay, what else have I got for you? Oh, I wanted to mention Wancher, W-A-N-C-H-E-R, I think that's the way it's pronounced, has a Kickstarter project that looks really, really interesting. So I thought I'd show that to you. Let me just go to my computer. Where is it? I thought I had opened it up already. Okay, so I apologize for that. I had to look for it, so I cut and did what I need to do. They have this beautiful, what they call it's a Dream Pen celluloid Kickstarter landing page on a piece of Japanese history. It looks like they're using celluloid for this brand new pen. I got to tell you, this pen really looks intriguing. Take a look at that, how nice that is. There's a little video that you can click and watch. Okay, so you get the idea. I am really, really tempted to take the dive here. Now, I briefly looked at the Kickstarter page, the launch page, the pre-launch page, and there's different pricing there. You'll be able to take a look at it depending, I guess, on the pen and the nib, etc., etc. But I've got to tell you, I'm going to take a closer look here because I may very well order one of these pens. So I thought I'd mention that for you. So there you have it. What else have I got for you? I got to mention Atlas has got this fountain pen tournament challenge. Fantastic stuff, folks. You've got to just click that page. Maybe I'll leave it down in the description. Hopefully I won't forget. But you'll be able to see what it is that they've got round. You apply. You fill out your page. Let me just show you how that's done. There's somewhere here. Go to it. You go to your bracket. You fill out your your name, etc., etc., and then you vote. So it's kind of the playoffs. It's like a sports challenge. You got the Aurora Optima going against the Magna, and you have to choose the winner, and so on and so on. So you end up doing the whole bracket until you declare a final winner. And then it actually happens on different dates. I think he mentions the dates in this previous page. As you can see here, he does round by round. So the round results depending on who wins, and if you win, you go to the next round, etc., etc. So I think it's a lot of fun. I've got to hand it to Brendan and his team there. It's very original. I'm almost tempted to do my own challenge, but I thought I'd mention that for you. I think it's a lot of fun. Now, what else have I got to you on the internet here? Santini, by the way, it looks like they always have a weekend offer, so you should always pay attention. If you haven't heard of Santini, it's an Italian pen maker, very original. They've got all kinds of original designs, but what's fun about them is they have their own in-house nibs. They have 14 karat 18 karat in-house nibs, number 6 or number 8 size. They have, extra fine, medium, bold stubs, but they also have flexi, super flexi. So any of you who have not heard of Santini, please visit. And it looks like they have a limited stock special for the Nonagon model, which is a 9-side faceted pens, and you can see at 391 euros with that gold nib, I'm being tempted. So this is one of my pen itches this week. Stay tuned. If I do order one, you will be the first to know. Okay, so those are what's on the internet. What have I got? What else I got for you? Oh yeah, I'm putting up on the screen Goulet pens, and I think other retailers have got it as well. Lamy has issued 2 inks, or reissued existing inks, so you have them there. And I think you can find these in almost every major retail site. Pen Chalet, I'm showing you another picture of Pen Chalet offering this new Leonardo box set. You get a new Leonardo pen. I guess it's for St. Patrick's. It's green with a Van Diemen's ink and a little pen stand there. So that may be of interest for those of you who are Leonardo fans and want to celebrate nice green St. Patrick's. Well, there you have it. What else have I got for you? Oh, Appleboom is actually, you can see on the screen, now put up for sale the Radius pens. Radius, and you've got a picture here of the Radius Bohemian. In fact, let me just cut to my overhead camera. 1 second. Here we go, and I'll show you what that Radius looks like. I've actually reviewed it. Let me just get it out. Where is it? No, I can't find it now. But I've actually reviewed that pen. And I just haven't had the chance to, oh God, where is it? I just can't find it. That's too bad. But yeah, I was trying to look for it. But it's been reviewed, and this Radius, and you'll see the thumbnail of my review, and hopefully I'm going to publish it soon. I've got about 10 videos that are all prepared, and every week I just don't know which one to publish, But having said that, it looks like it's being sold now, not only at Stilo Stile, but Appleboom has picked it up. So there you have it. That's it for the pen market, folks, for this week. So stay tuned for my next segment. I got some surprises for you. Okay, so this is going to be the what's new in the Fountain Pen Therapy studios. Well, we've got a couple of stuff. We've got couple of surprise unboxings for you. And we'll take a look at some journals, some inks, some swatching. We'll do a little bit of sampling as well, and we'll show you what went on this week for me and what's going to be happening for me the following week. So let's go to my overhead camera. I'll show you the first surprise unboxing. Well, what do you have here? Well, what we have here is a, 1 second, I'm just going to take a sip of my espresso. What you see here, folks, is a DHL delivered package. By the way, I love DHL. They are quick, they deliver, they send you messages, you can track your deliveries fairly simply. You can prepay your whatever duties you need to pay, etc. And they don't charge a lot compared to UPS. See, this is Appleboom, so it's a product come from Appleboom, and they use DHL. I think most Europeans do. I know that Atlas uses UPS, and man, they are a ripoff, at least in my opinion. And I've suggested to Brendan that he give us a choice, because even FedEx is much cheaper. Having said, or at least that's my experience. So let's do the opening. How do you open this thing? Is there a... Okay, here we go. Actually, I think I have a scissor. It's not too far. Okay, there we go. That's the classic Appleboom box. I've seen this before. You must recycle these things, because this one looks like it's all beat up. No, I think I should use my knife. There we go. Start tape anywhere else. Maybe here. Yeah. Wow. Afraid it would escape. Okay. Here we go. Haha. Apple boom. Nice picture of a pen. With a nice thank you card. Thank you, Yost. These things are good, by the way. I ordered these biscuits on Amazon all the time. Great stuff. There's the stroopwafel. Recommend them. They're really, really good. I think they're a staple of that country. Okay, so what do we got here? Let's put the box aside. Nicely wrapped. Yeah, you know, the Europeans are good at that, eh? The Europeans can really wrap a product, I find. And I think it all started with, I'm sorry to say, I would be biased, but Italians. You know, you buy yourself a sweater in an Italian department store, and they'll wrap it like as if it's a gift for you. Almost any product you buy in Italy, they really value the way they just package and wrap it, and they you know, it's part of their thing, right? So okay, so yes, it's another Aurora. I think I mentioned to you guys that I was last week that I had ordered this pen, so I'm really happy to see that it arrived. By the way, Appleboom had written to me saying that the pen is on back order, so you're going to have to wait 2 or 3 weeks for it, and I was really disappointed. But surprise, I got it this week. So I think they must have found one, or it must have been delivered sooner rather than later. That's the beautiful Aurora box. Aurora, by the way, one of the best pen makers in the world, and certainly one of the best Italian pen makers in the world, have their own in-house nibs, so I'm really looking forward to seeing this pen. Look at how nice that is. Isn't that nice? Yeah. What do they have here? Oh, they've got their standard... this is there's a converter with the cartridge, with booklet with information, your Appleboom label, 14 karat gold, and here's the pen. Wow. That looks really nice. And I did get did I not get a medium? I think I got a medium on this nib. Yeah. Got the 14 karat medium nib. Isn't that nice? Is this a piston or must be a cartridge converter, but how do I open it? Oh, you know what? I'll take a look at it. This thing's going to get reviewed in detail. So, other than this unboxing, that's it for you folks. I'm very happy with it. I think it's a nice size. Just to give you an idea of compared to my Aurora Optima Black Pearl. There you have it. And very nice, I think. And speaking of the Aurora, I did want to mention to you something, now that we're on the subject. I had ordered... So anyway, that's the Talentum, and we'll have a separate review. I'll do the whole frill review for you guys for this Talentum, which is, by the way, much cheaper than this Optima. So, yeah, I had ordered this pen during or I'd won it during the Atlas Experience Sale event of, was it not last month, but the month before. So it was a pen that I had managed to bid for and that I won the bid. And they had indicated in the description of what I was bidding for that it had a defective nib. So when I received the pen, as it turned out, the nib was not defective at all, but what it was that the section of the nib unit, that plastic section where you insert the nib and the feed, was cracked. So I immediately wrote to Brendan and said, look, Brendan, I just need that small plastic sleeve or unit. Can you get me one? You know, and if it costs whatever, it can't be more than $1, $1.50, $2, I would think. If you just get me that unit, we're all set because the nib is fine. And he wrote to me and he says, you know what, I'm going to refer you to Kenro. Kenro must be their American distributor of Aurora. And it was a gentleman wrote to me from Kenro. And he said, can you tell me what was the problem? So we exchanged some emails, and he said, you know what, Vincent, everything's under warranty. You're going to have to ship back to me the pen. I said, well, look, I don't want to return the pen. I just need that small plastic sleeve that can't be worth more than $5, you know. And he said, yeah, I know, but it doesn't work that way. You know, Aurora wants to see the whole thing. So I said, okay, but here is a prepaid label. Just put it in a box and send it back to us. So I did. And, you know, I was expecting this to take ages because then Ken Rose got to check with Aurora. And by the time I got that little plastic unit for the nib, I said to myself, it's going to take months. But lo and behold, I think I sent the package on Monday. And by Thursday, Friday, the pen had been delivered to me. Repaired. I saw that it was tuned. I saw that it was tested because I had a little bit of water beads in the piston window. So it means they had even tested it. And this pen is just absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. So it's going to go into, and take a look at that resin. Now, I've reviewed the Optima before, so I'm not sure I'm going to give a separate review for this pen. But I thought I'd mention a shout out to both Brendan at Atlas and Kenro, the representative class acts. I wrote to them thanking them for their most diligent, warranty repair commitment. And that's what it's all about, folks. If you get treated properly by the vendor and even the distributor when the time comes, you won't hesitate ordering pens from these companies. So sometimes, these retailers, you say to yourself, well, they're selling for a little bit more. Their prices are always a little more than some others. But when they're reputable, like Atlas, Appleboom, Gold Spot, Pen Chalet, Goulet Pens, those, you get good experiences. So if you do have a problem, they'll take care of you. So once again, shout out to both. Thank you very, very much. By the way, we'll do some writing with this pen because it's going to go into my next week's inked pens. So we'll put that aside for the time being. Okay. What other surprise have I got for you? Well, I also got for you, so we'll pull this Aurora box to the side. I've ordered some paper, and this was on the recommendation of one of my viewers. You know that I'm a fanatic for paper. I collect it. I have hundreds of notebooks of different models, different brands. And this product had been in my sights for quite a while, but I never quite put it in my cart and decided to order. And then one of my viewers mentioned it again, and it kind of resurfaced, and I said, oh yeah, William Anna. Maybe this time I'll take the dive. So I did order. It's not cheap, and it does come from overseas, from England. So, they're always a little more expensive when that's the case. Again, you can see European, very nicely packaged. It's not something you see with stuff you get from Amazon, put it this way. So William Anna is the company. And I ordered some paper and some rings to attach the paper in. So I'm curious to see how the whole thing gets delivered to us. Okay, so let me put that aside. What is this? This is a thank you, personally handwritten, and of course it gives the price. And the price, as you can see, is the paper, which we'll get to in a second, cost me 19 pounds. The archive set, which is the ring set that you'll see, cost me 17 pounds for a total of 36 pounds plus shipping. So it's 50 pounds. So it comes out to be very expensive, if you will. But for you guys, I thought why not? And it's a very attractive product, by the way. So I'm going to keep this sticker. Okay, so I don't know what's in what. Oh, that sticker really removes nice and easy. So this must be the paper. No, these are the rings. Okay, I see. Yeah, let me tell you what this is. Try to get rid of this. There we go. Yeah, it's just a cover with these rings that you install the paper in. So you've got, what is it, eight of these things? They're like a binder. And so that's your cover on both sides, okay? Never done this before, so apologize for the improvisation. Here's the paper. Wow, that looks really nice. So as you can see, you would install the paper that way and with the rings. The paper is just a simple line paper. I mean, you've got all kinds of options, even, date and agenda. Very, very, from what I can see, it's a very thick paper. So this is the paper we will use for my swatching of inks that are coming up next, along with some of the writing samples. We'll use this paper and compare it to my standard Tomo River, just to see how it behaves. I will try to, assemble it all for you so you can see what it looks like, and we'll take a look at that next. So stay tuned. Okay, so I'm back. Yeah, you've got to be patient. I guess this is similar to, what is it, Filofax? I think that has a similar system. These covers are a little bit flimsy, in my opinion. They sell beautiful leather covers, but I didn't want to spend money. They're very very expensive, so I didn't want to spend the money on leather covers until I got to use the paper and see if I'm interested. So in the time being, I bought this simpler, it cost 17 pounds. You get the rings and you get the cover, and there you have the paper. So we will use this and see how the paper reacts. Very thick stock, so I suspect that the paper will be fountain pen friendly. At least I hope. Almost like cardboard sheets, every sheet. Having said that, that's the new paper product I have to review for you this week. Stay tuned. We'll be right back for the next segment, which will be the ink swatching. Okay, so we're all set for the ink swatching. Well, we're not all set. What I want to do, first of all, is introduce to you who the actors are in this particular segment, if you will. I've ordered, I think I mentioned to you, Aero inks. And I've ordered about 7 or 8 of them. I've received 3 to date. And these are the 3 I received this week. The rest are still, I ordered them from different suppliers because of the colors that I wanted. And these are the ones I received to date. The box is in Chinese, I believe, so I don't know which ink is contained in each box. Okay, this is the brown coffee, I've got a feeling. So that's brown coffee. And folks, if you see my hands shaking, don't worry, I don't have Parkinson's. It's a hand tremor that I've had for some of you who've been following my channel. This kind of leaked. You can see a little bit of leaking there. That I've had since I was a teenager, so not to worry. It's all been diagnosed as nothing serious, but it does make for some funny viewing when you see my hands shaking all over the place. Okay, this one hasn't leaked. So this one's got a little bit of leak. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clean it up. Now, I don't know which is which because they both have a blue cap, but I know that I have a black, a blue-black. I have a dark blue and a coffee. Those are the 3 I've received. What are the pens? The pens are going to be, I've chosen 3 Lotus pens, 2 Lotus Arthurs that I bought from Peyton Street Pens. Okay, so these are the 2 that will have the dark blue and the light blue. And this one will have the brown coffee one. This is the Lotus Wave. Just beautiful, beautiful pens, by the way. I recommend them. Lotus Indian Pen Company, and one of the better ones, I would say to you, in terms of quality. It's right up there, you know, competing vigorously even with the likes of Ranga. So there you have it, one of my favorite Indian pen companies, who, by the way, send me pens quite often for review. So there you have it. So those are the actors. Here is my swatching liquid along with my folded pen. For those of you who haven't seen this, folded pen that we're going to do the swatching with. We're going to do the writing with that. These are the two papers that we're going to be swatching today, and those are the inks. Be right back. Okay, so we're back. I think we figured it out. I think this is one. This one here is going to be the dark, the blue-black. So this is Tomoe River. And it's Tomoe River Original 56 gram paper. This is the William Anna. It's got quite a bit of coating, so okay, so we're going to do some writing with this Lotus Arthur. So this ink is Hero, and this is Blue Black. Wow. And we'll put the pen so I remember where. Lotus Arthur, light blue. Yeah. This is just an absolutely terrifyingly good ink. And I think I paid it $8. It's even got some sheen in it. Very, very nice so far. And you know what, folks? I like this William Anna. The paper, I thought, would just destroy the effect of the ink, but it doesn't appear to be so. Let me just see how it writes. Well, verdict is excellent so far. Let me tell you, it's a little bit of a coated paper, but sometimes coated paper, in my view, is just so slippery that the writing experience is not great. That's why I don't like 90 GSM Rhodia or Clairefontaine for that matter, because of that. Okay, this is the one that I believe is, if that's blue-black, this is dark blue. We'll see if there's a difference. Yeah, it's a little more royal blue. Yeah, there's less black in this ink, I think, than in the blue-black. And this is the pen. So this is Hero, dark blue. Lotus Arthur. I think this is an Arthur as well, and we'll call it the yellow so I know. These pens, by the way, are just so comfortable. Very nice material, and they got these beautiful bold or broad nibs that write spectacularly. So hero. Yeah, I can tell right away that on this paper, the line is much thinner than on Tomoe River, but that's the nature of Tomoe River, right? The line is always a little bit thicker on Tomoe River paper. Yeah, it is a bit of a slippery paper, but the ink is penetrating. It doesn't, it doesn't prevent it from writing, if you will. So that's, and this bottle is all inked up. I'm going to have to clean it up, but we'll put that aside for now. And we'll ink up this this coffee. Okay, so the toffee, yeah, that looks like a nice brown. It's got a little bit of a reddish tint, but not much. We'll see how it goes down on the paper. Oh yes, nice solid dark coffee brown. You get all these colors sometimes and you just yearn for just a standard good solid brown. And this is exactly what this looks like. I think we've got another winner here. And I did say $8 a bottle, and now I'm starting to doubt what I just said. So after I did do this, finish this swatching, we're going to check the price and make sure we're not misleading you here. This is, I think, a 1.1 stub. So hero. Now, was it toffee or coffee? I think it was coffee. Coffee brown, obviously. Lotus. This is the Lotus Wave. Wave because it's got that wave in its body. I really recommend these pens, by the way, folks. Very, very nice. Hero. Yeah, you see the line is much thinner, but it goes on very smoothly because of the coated nature of this paper. So there you have it. Now, while this is drying up, let me take a second and go on the website to make sure that I'm not misleading you on the price of these inks. Just bear with me a second. Looking at AliExpress in my order section, and if I click on the ink, okay. No, there are, well, if you buy 10 or more, they're $11 or Canadian, $11.50. If not, they're $13.18 Canadian, which is, less than $10 US. So I think they're a great bargain. What we'll do is we're going to allow, now one of my viewers said, you should take the time, and he says, I know you're impatient, and I am, and I say that I am, but you should make sure that these inks get dried fully before you comment on them. So we're going to take a pause. You won't notice it. Make sure these inks are dried properly. The gentleman or the mademoiselle or the madame who mentioned that is perfectly right to say so. So we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. They're fully dried. Man, does it take a long time. So my friend Fontaine de Plume, and we'll talk about it in a second, challenged me on my statement that the Tomoe River are better or is better than Rhodia, of course. And he put up a very short video, saying Fontaine Plume chooses Rhodia and Fountain Pen Therapy chooses Tomoe River. And he has his own testing, which was a lot of fun. Of course, it was all done in jest. Okay, so here you have the Tomoe River. As you could see, typical Tomoe River kind of brings all the qualities there. You can definitely see the difference between the blue-black and the blue, even though it's dark blue. You get to see the sheening on both inks, which is very nice. I'm a little bit surprised I don't see more sheening on the toffee or the coffee brown, but it is a nice, I guess the sheening is the black that you see some shading, but it's a beautiful dark brown color, I got to tell you. Very, very nice. And no feathering on the Tomoe River, works really nice. The ink performs very well, and a little bit of ghosting on the swatches, but very little, as you could see on the actual writing samples, which means the ink, is performing fairly well. It's not a messy ink, so to speak. On this, this thing is thick. I should perhaps tell you how many grams this is. Don't have it handy right now, but maybe I'll put it up on the screen so you can appreciate how thick it is. But I can tell you, this is very thick paper. I was very surprised to see the sheening. It's a little bit kind of more spread out on the William Anna paper. A little bit less sheening on the dark blue, but it's kind of, flattened out. The sheen is there. It's just not in as pronounced, if you will. And the brown really looks solid, almost with a reddish tint there. A solid black brown, very nice. Very nice. In terms of the, I don't see any feathering at all on the writing samples. And of course, with this thick paper, even the swatches don't come through. So rest assured that this paper is fully fountain pen friendly. It has a nice writing experience. Very coated paper, I would say to you. A thick, like Nimoussine and Clairefontaine, that's sort of, that's sort of slippery or coated, but very, very nice. And we'll continue to do some writing on this paper with the other pens that we have for you throughout this segment of the recap. So let me just put everything back. Oh, I did want to show you the bottles. I went a little bit quick on the bottles. I think these bottles are gorgeous. For a $13 product, very, very nice. The packaging is also, interesting. Okay, it comes in a nice box, and there's a little bit of a styrofoam protector in there. So I think, well done to Hero. And I think I'm going to enjoy these inks. So there you have the Hero swatching. Let me just put my pens here, because this will be my shot, if you will, for my introductory video. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon. Okay, so we're back for the next episode, which is really to take a look at the pens that I used during the week and, describe the experience of the week to see if there's anything that I needed to point out. I think the two big winners this week, because of all the notes I took, were this. I can't say enough good things about this Winsong 630. This is the flat top version, which really is huge. It's the Pro Gear model, but it's the size of a sailor, if you will, okay, of a KOP, a King of Pen sailor. Very, very nice, I got to tell you. So this is the Winsong. And it's the 630 flat top. Look how nice this thing writes. It's got a number 8 medium nib, which is just absolutely fabulous. 10 on 10. Never really skipped a beat all week. Big pen, a big ink reservoir. I gotta tell you that You know, it's hard not to put pens like this, you know, in your pen sleeves for the week. So this was a winner for me. The other pen, of course, that never goes wrong, is this Mont Blanc. I used this Mont Blanc during not court sessions, but there were discoveries in front of other people, so you can impress them and perhaps intimidate them. So this is the Mont Blanc. Look at that. I mean, I got to give it to Mont Blanc. It's the 149, you know, with that big, I think they say number 9, 18 karat, medium nib. By the way, this paper is working out just fine. Very, very nice. I got to tell you, the Mont Blancs never fail you. They're always there, 100%, 100%. Now, I did try to write with this is a Santini that you haven't seen yet. I think I've prepared the video, but I haven't published it yet. It's got a super flexy nib, but I find that for everyday writing on cheap paper, not the best choice. It has a tendency of you know, getting into the paper a little bit too much. This is a number 6, 18 karat, and it's the super flexi. So I used it more on my to-do lists in my Tomo River journal than I did on my you know, just pads where I was writing notes. For long sessions, not ideal. I got to tell you, it kind of dries up on you a little bit too, the writing. It's a little too thin. So this is, you know, the Super Flexi is a nib to have fun with. It's not, I don't think it's in fact, the next Santini I get, I think I'm going to go with a regular nib. I'm curious to see how they have like a broad, or you can get a cursive italic, maybe something like that, as opposed to, you know, getting a straight up, what's a straight up flexi, a straight up just a fine. What else did I use that I wanted to mention? Oh yeah, my peniter was also used. This is the new peniter I got. It's the extra fine. So this is the peniter. Extra fine. Quill nib. Thank God they have this little kind of a flare here, because I got to tell you, that section, especially at the start, is very slippery. It's only once you get going that you get used to it, and that flare really helps. It's a nice look, but probably better if it would have been a different material, in my view. But then it takes away from the look. But this is a gorgeous pen, by the way, folks. I'm not going to go through all of them. My Aurora was the one that I used for my... let me just show you why. Where is my... Okay, my agenda kind of looks like this, but this is just an old one. Let me just put aside the pens. But it does have these same... As you can see, it has very small... You know, a very small grid. So, you know, you need a find. So I use this, you see, a find. This is the Sole Mio. And it's a 14 karat fine nib. So this was the pen that I chose more often than not to write my notes in this kind of small grid paper that I have on my in my everyday agenda. The other tool that I use for my agenda, of course, is this Pelikan M600 rollerball, which I recommend, by the way. It writes like a... So it's not an M, it's an R600 rollerball. It really writes like a fountain pen. So I use this one as well. Also use this for my signature. I've ordered some blue cartridges or, rollerball fills or refills, just because black, I prefer to sign my name in blue as opposed to black. So that's it for this week, folks. That's what that's what I used my pens for this week. The other pens that I had, I did have, one thing I wanted to show you, sorry about that, is let's see how these two vacuum fillers that I've been testing fare in terms of drawing. This is the TWSBI, I didn't use them all week. So, VAC, I believe 700R or R700, no drying issues, none whatsoever. So this is a success. Let's see if my Narwhal Original Plus has an issue. None whatsoever. No dry. No drying issues. So far, what is it, third week? Hardly any use. And they've a complete success. Okay, so now we're done for my currently inked. What's next? Well, let's take a look at what I have planned for my next segment. Okay, next segment is I'd like to show you how I chose my pens for next week. Right? Why don't we do that? First of all, the three pens that I think the trilogy that always forms part of my package are the three Montblancs. Let me cut to the overhead camera. We'll start with that right away. That is, I have got my 149, which is my trusted pen, never fails. I've got my 146 ballpoint, and I've got my 146, well, I think they're 146, but my ballpoint and my pencil. Okay? No doubt those form part. Next is I'm going with this rollerball. I haven't been able to find any other better rollerball, and I'm waiting for the blue refill, as I mentioned, this R600 Pelican. So for sure that will form part of the equation. What else? Well, of course we're going to put in the Lotus pens that we just used for my writing samples with the swatches, with those brand new Hero inks. We'll see how those Hero inks perform for the rest of the week. These are juicy pens. They're broads and 1.1 stub. So for note-taking, ideal. Get a nice thick line, and they, even on cheap paper, they're going to perform fairly well, I suspect. What else have I got? Well, mention to you that this Hero, what is it, Star 28. I've ordered the ADMOC 28. This is that vintage that I have, and I wanted to show you how it writes. So this is the Hero. Oh, that's a thin section. I haven't written this. Okay, here we go. Hero 28. And I've put in that Hero, the Hero blue-black ink that we just reviewed. Figure Hero goes with Hero, right? And it's got a medium nib that writes like a gold nib, folks. It really, really, it even gives just a slight line variation. It's almost a medium broad. Very, very nice. Cheap. Writes fabulously. Talk about a starter pen. I mean, that filling system is a little bit of a pain in the ass, and I think I can't remove it. I think it's stuck. It's not as if I can change it, I don't think, for a converter. I think it's glued on, and I'm hoping that, the ink lasts. But so far, so good. Let me tell you, I'm really happy with this pen, and we shall see how the new NOTEBOKK compares to this. Okay, so that's the hero will form part of the package. What else have I got for you? Oh yes, well, the Optima Perla Nero or Black Pearl is also going to form part of the gang. This will replace the Sole Mio as the fine-tipped pen for my agenda. So this is the Optima Nero Perla, i.e. Black Pearl, with a fine Aurora nib. This nib has got a little more feedback and a finer, just a slightly finer line than the Sole Mio, but it's a nice feedback. But if I get fed up with it, I'm just a little playing around on some mesh, and we'll fix that. So that's the Perla Nera that goes. How many have I got here? I've got 4, I've got 7, I've got 9, I've got 3 more. Okay, I can tell you that I will be inking up this new Talentum Aurora that I just received, the unboxing I just did. I will first do the review, I will ink it up for the review, and then it's going to go into my weekly stash, if you will, so that I could test it for the rest of the week. So this Talentum medium Aurora 14 karat nib will also form part of the gang. The last two, and so I've got 4, I've got 7, I've got 10, and I got 2 more to make it 12. Let me remove this because I want some room. You see here 2 pens. So let me just cut to my visage, as they say. Last week I did a series of what I call pen itches. You know, I get an itch for a pen. You know, M800 is always in the picture. My Platinum President, the Leonardo with the number 8 or number 6 Felice nib. You know, Felice nib is always there, and I'm not going to repeat those. But I said to myself, if I'm going to have to spend $800 to $900 on a number 8 sized Leonardo La Fenice nib, that's 800 to 900 euros. That's almost 1,003, 1,004 Canadian, okay, because it's 50% the exchange rate. Am I not better off getting a custom Urushi, you know, the big one? Not the 845, the big one. And, you know, the prices, if I get it straight from a Japanese vendor, it's about 1,001, 1,002, depending on the nibs. You know, figured out that I would probably get, was it the fine medium or the medium? I forget now, but I've got written down somewhere because I checked some reviews and made up my mind there. And I said, you know, if I have to spend that kind of money, the hell with the Leonardo. I'm going to go for the Pilot. What do you guys think? Leonardo, the most recent pens, number 8, 18, is it 18? Yeah, 18 karat La Fenice nib, which is supposed to be their kind of an in-house product. And whatever resin there is going for roughly, depending on the pen, anywhere between 700 to 900 euros, which is roughly $1,000, anywhere between 800 and 950 US. Do I do that, or do I go and get my custom Urushi, the big one, the number 30 nibbed one? Let me know what you guys think. And as I was getting the itch and going through a series of reviews to see whether or not, you know, what nib should I get, and shopping around, because it's the hunt, because this is going to be a grail pen. I have no illusions. I've been looking at this pen for years. I've never really taken the dive. At one point, it was in my cart, and I pressed pay, and I got a message from the vendor saying, oh, sorry, we don't have that nib in stock. would you like the fine? And I didn't want the fine. So I pulled it out, and then I had second thoughts. And I said, you know what? Maybe this is a sign from somewhere that you shouldn't be buying this pen. So I stopped the purchase. That was about a year ago. But it's been on my mind. Talk about an itch. What an itch that is. And that got me thinking. I said, well, why don't I resurrect two pens? I want to show you. These are the two pens I resurrected. And you've seen this before, okay? Let me... And for those of you who haven't, no, this is not a... it looks like one. It's a real fake. Both are. It's a real imitation of the custom Marushi, the big one. Okay, it's got. I did a full review of this. I think I was the first reviewer to have found this pen. They called it the big pen or something like the big steel pen or something. And we still don't know if it's Jinao. If then I've seen it under Montefiore. I've seen it under many different names. Okay, and it comes in this red. You know, this beautiful vermilion red. It comes in green, yellow, blue, black. And I bought this green first because they didn't have the red, and then I went and get the red. And I found them really heavy. You know, they're steel, but it gives you a great idea of what it feels like to write with a big Namiki Urushi. But the beautiful thing about this is that I don't know if you missed it, but I ordered Michael Green, and maybe I'll put everything down in the description again, sells this unit. You see this unit? This is a kind of a... So you get rid of the original that comes with this, which is steel and heavy and comes with a number 6. The original comes with a number 6 steel nib. And Michael sells you this brand new section, which is made out of ebonite, with a Jinhao extra large converter, and with a Jinhao number 8 size nib. You can buy this whole unit to replace the unit that comes with this, and all of a sudden you have a number 8 sized big pen, which writes, hopefully gives you an idea of what it feels like to write with that, you know. And this combination, let me just show you here. I don't know what to call it. I'll call it the big red pen, okay? And it's got the Michael Green, I think green is without an E, hack, if you will. And beautiful. I gotta tell you, really, really nice. And I hadn't written with these pens in like weeks, since in fact I had reviewed in one of my recaps this product from Michael Green. Okay, writes beautifully. So I got to practice with it, and I said, you know what, my itch kind of went away because I could still use this for a while and kind of get, you know, the feeling. The green's got this beautiful green ink in it. So this is the big green pen, I will call it. And it's, again, the Michael Green hack. Just beautiful, by the way. Writes really, and this paper, so far, 10 on 10. Will I replace it with Tomoe from the Tomoe River? Never. But that's just my bias. So the itch has kind of gone away because I've got these. Oh, it hasn't closed properly. Here we go. Oh, no, it's got that little quirk. You got to be careful. There you go. So that's going to form part. That's my 10th and 11th pen for my weekly stash, if you will. They'll be used. So I got my, remember, I always have a red pen. No matter what, I always have a red pen. So that will be my red pen for the week. And that, in fact, folks, will form, will complete my pens for the week. Hope that was fun. showed you a couple of pens, a couple of writing samples. I've resurrected the Lotus Arthur, and I've resurrected the Michael Green hack on those big pens. So my itch has gone away, and I've got, you know, my two Auroras that I want to play with. I've got my Hero, you know, Star 28 vintage that I think I'm going to enjoy. So there you have it for the week, folks. Stay tuned for my next segment. Okay, so we're back for my last segment of this recap, which is, as usual, my, you know, YouTube reviews, as you will. What other YouTube reviews are out there that I want to point out and are interest me and maybe of interest to you, and I'll, at the same time, I will let you know what my channel is offering you, if you will. And we'll end it with some questions from viewers that I received subsequent to the publishing of some of my reviews. So first of all, I just want to put up on the screen, I have Fontaine de Plume. We had some fun. You'll remember that I believe it was in my last recap, I compared the Rhodia paper with Tomoe River, and made the argument that Tomoe River is much better paper than Rhodia. And Fontaine de Plume decided that, I mentioned it to him, by the way. I sent him, I said, by the way, check out my last segment. You'll see I, you know, kind of poke you a little bit. And he decided to poke me back. So here you have it. It's a very short video, but he compares Rhodia and Tomoe River, and you know, tries to exaggerate, but makes the point that he thinks the opposite. So my French friend, merci beaucoup pour toute ce court vidéo qui n'a pas dérangé du tout. It did not bother me at all. It was all in fun. And you know what? One other viewer told me that maybe the challenge should be with the 90 GSM Rhodia. I tried to look for 90 GSM Rhodia in my stash, but I couldn't find any. So I think I'm going to have to go out and buy a 90 GSM Rhodia notebook, because I realized I didn't have it. All the Rhodia products, and I have tons of them, all 80 GSM, not 90. I do have a 90 GSM Rhodia paper, but it's yellow, and you know, it doesn't give you, I think it would be unfair if I compare yellow paper to white paper. So, but stay tuned, Fontaine de Plume. We shall see. Maybe the 90 GSM paper will convince me otherwise. We shall see. I think Inquiring Minds, if I'm not mistaken, does most of his writing samples for his pen reviews with a 90 GSM paper, but I may be wrong there. So stay tuned for that. So there you have it. Then I have this other video that I want to show you from Fountain Pen World. He's, by the way, a very loyal viewer of my channel, so I thank him. And shout out to Fountain Pen World. He did an excellent review of two Del Moon pens. It's an Indian pen maker that I've been meaning to buy. I know he doesn't have a website. If you go on his website, it only really sells to, I believe, in India. Not to the US or Canadian market, but he will sell them to you if you communicate with him through, maybe it's Facebook or his Instagram. Then you write to him and you order the pen, and then he'll get it to you, and he'll find a way. You pay through PayPal. There's definitely a way, and I think Fountain Pen World in that video tells you how to go about it. But I thought I'd give a shout out to my pal at Fountain Pen World. Excellent review, and he's got two beautiful pens to demonstrate. I think Del Moon may be another of my itches, if you will. In terms of my video, what have I got for you? Well, you know, check out last week's recap if you haven't done so, because now the recaps, don't forget, the recaps are not only punctual, it's not only news, it gives you all kinds of other stuff in there, you know, where I review notebooks, I review inks. So instead of having a separate video, check out the template, and you know, you might find there, I'm going to try to be a little more descriptive on the template so you can quickly zero in on what I'm doing in that particular video. So all my recaps can be rewatched, if you will, at any time. And it'll provide you some additional fountain pen therapy for sure. So take a look at that video if you haven't. Then I've got my video on my Dieman collection. And speaking of my Dieman collection, let me go to my overhead camera. I've got something to show you that I forgot to mention in that video. Okay, so we're back. What I forgot was, and I think I have I know I have a video out called the Dieman Slims. And I forget now which slim I presented to you in my collection. I didn't bother to check, and I should have. But I just wanted to show you all. I have them all together here. Let me go to my overhead camera. I have a series of slim Dieman pens, what I like to call them. I have the, what is this? The 60, yeah, the 60135. This is the Black Forest. Kind of looks like a Faber-Castell pen. This is the 321. This is the 525. And this is the 519. And my favorite of the lot is this one that they call the Light of Hope. So it's the Light of Hope, and it comes in different colors. I love this beautiful green. Let me just see if I have ink in here, because I love to write with this pen. Really, really nice. So I forgot to mention these slims, and some of the viewers mentioned it too. It's got a number 5 size nib, the old style nib. It does post right at the top. A very nice pen. Let me just see if it writes. It doesn't. Do I have ink in here? Yes, I do. Well, it's got a drying issue because I think I tested it during the week when somebody mentioned this model. It's got a drying issue, folks. So because I remember using this pen during the week, so it shouldn't have dried up on me that way. But I really like to write with this pen. Here you go. So, drying issue aside, which is, quite an important thing. This, what do they call it again? Sorry about that. Hey, where is it? Where's it written? Oh, here. The Light of Hope. Very nice. So this is my favorite of the slims. This and the thicker version of this, I would say the sister pen, which is the Black Forest. Is the Black Forest, right? Just for the fun of it. It has that brand new Springer nib. Yeah, this one writes. I think I mentioned this pen in that Dieman collection video, but I'm not sure. But in terms of slims, this is my favorite. They've got a blue one, I think, maybe a black one. But there you have it. So thought I'd mention that following one of my viewers, or several viewers actually, pointed that out. What else have I got for you? Yeah, the Cypress pen has got to be reviewed. I've got a video on low-priced budget vac fillers that I'm going to be putting up. The Radius Settimo is going to have to go on. I've got the Stipula Lucence with the flex nib. And I've got two videos. One of them is my part 3 comprehensive guide on notebooks that I had prepared in the new year in January, and that I realized I never published. I got part 1, got part 2, and in part 3, I think I review another 50 notebooks. I think I'm going to have to throw that back into the mix. Maybe publish it this week, get rid of it. Otherwise, I'll keep forgetting. And it's a valuable resource, not to be consumed all at once. But, you see the listing of all the pens, timestamps, of all the notebooks. You have timestamps. If you're interested in any notebook, you can look it up. So it's meant to be a comprehensive guide as opposed to, a video to be consumed, all at once, if you will. And I've done the number 8 more questions 2025. I've done a video. I've answered the 8 questions. Are you guys interested in that sort of thing? I've done it. If you are, I'll publish it. Some of you said to me, not interested. They're coming out now, one after another. But if you're interested in my answers to the 8 more questions that Simone has put out there, let me know. And we will publish. Maybe I'll publish 2 videos during the week, and that will be one of them. Okay? So please, let me know. Any other questions that I have? Oh, yes. I had mentioned to my viewers that I had a Optima, an Aurora. Let me just pull out both pens. Go to my overhead camera. Let me just close this. I had an Optima 88, which is kind of an old model. Not an old model, but it's vintage pen in terms of when that pen came out. But the same pen is being offered today. This is the 88 and this is the Optima. And I showed you both nibs and I asked, I think I have a flex nib on the Optima 88, on the 88. And I said, look at the point. It looks it's flexier than my fine. And I got an answer. No, I was wrong. Yes, this nib is definitely different from that. This was the old style Aurora fine nib. Because it was so pointy, people complained that it sprung on them quickly. So I've got to be careful on it. So they modified the fine nib to look more like this. You can see it has broader shoulders. This one, because of its lengthy, pointy nib, had a tendency to fail. And so Aurora changed, from what I understand, I forget when, changed their fine nib, and now their fine nib looks like that one. So this is not the flexi nib. Because that 88 doesn't have a flex nib, and I thought maybe it did, I went out and ordered an Aurora flex nib pen. I may be receiving it as I speak. If so, the next part of this video will be the new flex nib pen that I got from Giardino Italia. They had one pen which was, very well priced. It's not the nicest pen in the world. It's like kind of a light blue resin pen, but it has the flexi nib. So I'm very anxious to receive it. And FedEx sent me messages. I should be receiving it any minute now. And if I do, I will make sure to slice in the new pen and an unboxing, and the pen will be reviewed in detail, of course. So there you have it. Thank you very much to all the viewers that pointed out to me. Now at least I know that I don't have a flex nib in this 88, but I have an old style nib. Got to be careful with it, but it's, I think, much better than the modern fine Aurora nibs, in my view, anyway. But I'll be careful not to spring it. What else? Okay, quick unboxing. I just got the package, and maybe we'll be able, if it's the right one. Oh God, what is this? Okay, folks, you know what? Give me a chance. Give me a second. I'm going to unbox this off camera. Okay, be right back. Okay, I'm back. Okay, let me just see here. That wasn't that big box, or a bunch of styrofoam and all kinds of protective. Yes, and it's from my friends at Giardino Italiano. I say my friends, I've never met them, but I've bought enough pens from them that I'm sure they think I'm their friends. Another Aurora gem, folks. Indeed. I think it is what I think it is. Okay, so that's that. Il sogno di un sogno, a dream of a dream. Okay, some promotional materials. And the classic Aurora box. This should be what I think it is. There she is, folks. That's the pen. It's got the bedding, the usual instruction manual, warranty card, etc. Here is the pen. And of course, I'm going to be doing a detailed review of this pen. But what I wanted to show you right away for the purposes of this recap. Okay, so we're back. So here it is. Yeah, beautiful Optima. I don't like the resin, but it was the only color that was available with what, gentlemen and ladies? With this flex nib, indeed. So if we compare, and you'll remember that I thought perhaps my 88 had a flex nib, and then I was told, be careful, this is just an old fine nib. So there you go, folks. Now, I don't know if that, you can see it there. Let me just put that closer here so you could see the three amigos, as they say. So the middle one is the regular fine. This one is the 88 old pointy fine, and this is the new flex. I don't like my camera angle, but I think you get the picture. We're gonna ink that sucker up and see what it gives, but in a separate review. So there you have it, folks. Stay tuned for my next segment. What else have I got? Oh yeah, many of you have liked the Andean collection video, and they said, why don't you do one for Asvine? You could do one for Jinao. You could do one for Pen BBS and other Chinese pen manufacturers. Maybe I will. Maybe Asvine will be the next one. I know I've got one, I've got my budget vacuum fillers. At the end of the day, they're all Chinese or Taiwanese pens because they're budget. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I might work on a Pen BBS might be nice, especially when, they haven't really come out with anything new for a while. And some of you may not even know most of the Pen BBS offerings. And I've got quite a few. I've got maybe anywhere between a dozen and 15 pens. So that could be also a worthy video. I'm thinking about it. Or maybe I'll do all of them and we'll see which one we publish. Okay, but let me know. Asvine, Jinao, which one do you prefer? If you want to weigh in, go ahead. Appreciate it. We'll take it into consideration. Folks, that's it for me today. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this March 16th recap. Please comment. Please send me your ideas. Please send me your questions. They're all welcomed. If you have any ideas for this recap that you want me to weigh in on, any product that you'd like me to get my hands on and that you think I would enjoy as well, let me know. My ears and eyes are always open. Ciao ragazzi e ragazze, statevi bene. Alla prossima. See you next time.